All right, it's 9 o'clock. Let's call this meeting to order. And pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Nobody here from the public, Cindy, we've got you on here later. Let's begin with exonerations and consolidations. Jean, thank you for the new stamp.
You're welcome. We got it here very quickly, too.
I'd say I'd still be waiting if I hadn't thrown the other one in
Oh,
the trash can last
no,
meeting.
wait, no.
It took me 6 months to get it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Very professional.
You sign that,
Sure.
or stamp it or whatever.
Angel said to add that amount to the posting notes.
Okay.
Dave, you got any big bucks at your house this year? There's one there always.
Felt like fall this morning, didn't it?
Yeah.
We have a little family of raccoons up there, Mr. Allen. That's all about to work there. Running all gates of red.
Motion to approve the exonerations, consolidations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed no. Motion passes. State qualifications and settlements. Motion to approve the state qualifications.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes. We still have a few board openings. Again, I plead for someone interested from the DeKalb Troy area that would be interested in serving on the ambulance board. But we still have an opening. And we need someone. So, if you know of anybody or anyone that reads this, sees it. Budget revisions. It just seems to get more difficult and difficult to get. Yeah. But we're pretty good shape there.
We have an opening on the health center board. Jimmy's
Either
now.
write that down. That is right. That is right. I did not, Gene, did you get, we had a person on the medical center board of trustees that didn't want to be reappointed.
I haven't.
Cindy, can you get a copy of that to her?
What, do you wanna copy the minutes? Or
Yes,
what? Denny?
just,
Does Denny Pound bring the minutes? You should be bringing the
okay,
minutes. Oh, yeah, I'll get you a copy.
we just
You
need
should
a
be
copy.
bringing the
I'm gonna
minutes.
go ahead and write that down because we have a opening on the medical center board of trustees.
Health Center
Health Center.
Operations,
Health
Health Center Operations Board of Trustees.
trustees. And that's from the
I
Glenville.
don't think that doesn't seem that we're designated by district
The
on that board.
districts, okay.
Yep. What's that?
Okay, this one is for LEPC. Martin has $168 from his contractor services to his department of supplies. That's just an NOI agreement. And then the sheriff department got a donation for $1,560, and I put that into his department of supplies.
I move to approve the budget revision.
Second. Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Sign there. See, Gene got me a new stamp for it. I should just.
That's a lot more than what the old one.
Today is 8/21.
Some build that shelf.
15. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Warren.
Well, we still have a few minutes before 9:15, so let's, county commission minutes of August 7th, 2015.
I move it, we approve them as read.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We are in receipt of county board minutes for the Lewis Gilmer E911 yearly totals. Any comment on that, Sean? I think you served on that.
They do everything, email, they never send me.
Well, I always get these in the mail, so,
So you
Do
will,
you have the minutes too?
once in a while they send the minutes.
I mean, that's,
I told them they could email me the last time I got an email, and
we were meeting, we meet quarterly, and last meeting we decided to meet bi-monthly, so every other month, we'll be meeting
instead of quarterly,
Yeah, I thought it was too far between.
and they still meet here one month, Lewis the next, 6
Yeah.
counties.
There was 2-1, but now it's 1
Okay.
meeting.
Let's move on to unfinished business. Fire alarm system, Camel Technologies.
Camel Technologies, came and fixed the fire alarm, as you know, the last meeting it kept going off. Also, while they were here, they checked the security door in the courthouse because it was not working properly. We have a quote for what they call the striker that's in the door that doesn't allow it to open. And so we have that quote here, and also they said that our fire alarm system is not, like if it goes off, no one knows that it goes off. It's not like into 911, it does not go to 911 center. So if there is a fire and the alarm goes off, no one's gonna know because there's nowhere it doesn't go anywhere. So his suggestion is to come in, and I can't remember, some kind of box that they can put on so that if it does go off, it'll go off at the 911 center.
But it will go off.
It does go off.
It does go off.
But no one knows, like if it happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, no one knows that there's a fire here.
city.
So, I mean, he said that he can get a quote for us for that. You know, it's gonna be up to y'all if you want that.
And this quote is just,
Just for the striker that's in the annex building on their security door.
It wouldn't hurt me to know what it costs.
well, no,
It's kind of nice if somebody else knows. Down to everything was said it all.
Yeah.
You'd send somebody else.
now, Jane, it was my understanding though, that this, but it's working now.
It is working. It is working. He tested it, he said 14 or 15 times, and out of those times, one time it failed to release. And what it is, it's on the blue doors over here.
Right.
Like, when someone comes up and those doors are shut, they have to touch the little box on the
Right.
wall to know that they can get in. Well, what that does, in turn, it allows them to put a code in, and it releases when they put the code in. Well, where people have been pulling on it before it releases, it's allowing it to come loose. I mean, it has more play in it, and it's not working properly. So, but right now, it is working.
I don't know if we would have to take action on this today, maybe it'll work itself out. I mean, if it worked 14 out of 15 times, and you haven't heard any complaints, I'm
Not so
sure
far.
they're going to let you know.
Yes. Carol's the one that actually called and told me that it wasn't working right. And I said, well, when he comes to do the fire alarm, I'll just send him over and have him to look at that.
It's like a digital pad.
Mhm. And it just, when they put that in, it releases that striker to open the door.
Did he do anything whatsoever, clean?
Troy was with him.
He
when
just, he
went
came
over.
and he tried,
Mhm.
and it worked 14 out of 15, and it's continuing to work. Well,
Just wait and see how it goes.
they have two means of access. They can, we'll keep this handy. He didn't put a time limit. He realizes that we may not
Right.
move on immediately. The claim made by USERRA, Uniform Service Employment Reemployment Right Act claim. You have a copy there. So the prosecutor, Jerry Huff, has responded. Okay, it's 9:15. Cindy. Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
We miss you.
Thank you. So this will finalize all of the grants that were open. This is the grants for the EMS building, where we had two separate grants that replaced the roof, 2 windows, and did an electrical upgrade, so they can operate their garage doors on a generator if power would go out. So we have here today 2 things I need you to sign. On each of these, it'll be the same. One is certification of grant completion. This was a $10,000 grant, and then also we need, we'll do some right there, please. And the other one is the financial report and request for final payment.
Okay.
There will be a reimbursement that will need to be made to same reports and certification of grant completion. There'll need to be 2 separate checks made out to the Gilmer County EMS. They paid these expenses out of their account. So I have a note here I'm going to give to Angel that explains what needs to be reimbursed to them. I'll go over that with you as soon as we finish that one.
Okay.
I will make note that some of of their expenditures fell after the grant deadline. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. This is a community participation grant. They're usually quite flexible. But I put my contact information on these forms, so if they do have any questions or problems, I'll know about it. I can follow up and finish it. Okay? So out of the one grant, we're gonna need to reimburse the ambulance authority $1,053.12. That includes money from the grant plus the county's 10% match. And again, these are all out of grant funds. And the second one, the $10,000 grant, the county has already received $9,000 of that after the roof part of the project was done. So the remainder, that $1,000 will come back to the county, and that also had a $10,000 match.
Okay.
And we'll be writing the ambulance authority a check for $1647.87. That covers, you're on that board, so I'll mention this to you. That covers all of their expenses minus about $200, because they actually overspent on their purchases. We're just about almost $200 over the grant. So I'll communicate all that with TJ, just so you know.
Those are some good improvements.
Yeah, very, very, very good improvements. So, that's it. I'll put all this stuff away and
You've completed all those that you had started, they're all completed.
all complete. Yeah.
Well, thank you very
Everything's
much.
good, just a matter of getting in the reimbursement checks, and there's one grant that has some money to be returned. I'll follow up with Angel and see if you've received your request for that. It's $300 and some. It was unspent
Well,
money.
I think that we have.
Okay,
So that was also a community participation grant, so,
well, that's pretty close, we almost,
yeah.
okay. All
Can I
right,
get an envelope out of this drawer? that
Yes.
has all these?
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's move on to new business. We've received a few calls about handicap parking places at the rec center, and of course John's on that board, and they became aware of it and took care of them. Are they up yet, John? I know the signs have been ordered.
Daryl was gonna at least put one up for the White House, maybe a temporary one, and I know they were in the process of ordering.
Been ordering.
We designated 5 areas out there that needed handicap.
In talking with Darryl, it was a little over, he thought it would be a little over $100. Maybe
I have the invoice, but I
Do you?
can't find
Okay.
it. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, the only reason I left it on this agenda because, you know, that is county property, and I just thought we should consider paying for these signs rather than come out of the parks, but, you know, benefits the public,
It's $104 even.
$104.
So moved.
5 cents.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Alright.
Motion approved. Parking area lines painted at the Gilmer County Courthouse.
The lines that's for the parking spaces out here, you cannot see those anymore. The last time they were painted, Casey painted those, and so we really need to do it again. Troy told me that he had 2 buckets of paint in the garage, and I think Casey last time had borrowed the machine from Tim Marks at the college. So I told Troy that if we could get that again, that I would help him paint those lines if it's on a Saturday or whatever, because you have to make sure all of the gravel's out of the spots and everything. So I told him that, you know, if it was all right with you all for us to contact the college to see if we could borrow their machines to paint those lines, that I would help him do those.
Sounds good to me. Move forward. Sound good to you, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is an insurance agreement with USDA.
Yes, this was checked on, and what this is, it's for, grants, and it's for grants that benefits this agreement has to be done with the commission, so it's kind of like federal grants so that we can receive those monies, so that, like, say if the college would apply for a grant to help benefit the community, then we have to have this agreement in place with the Department of Agriculture so that they can get the monies.
Motion to approve me signing.
So moved.
Moved and second, any discussion, all in favor say aye. Motion passes. Jean, where would you have me sign this?
It is,
I wonder how.
well, I would have you to sign here, date it, and then put president here, and then I'll sign it there.
Okay.
Actually, there's two of them, so I told, that we would get that to the person that needed that.
0821.
I don't know if you guys have been aware, but the water line project that's been going on for the Fox's Mills water line project, it is now finalized. We finally received the last check, for that yesterday in the mail.
Do either of you know, didn't Paula Moeller, USDA office in Weston, didn't she retire? I heard.
I don't know.
Paula.
She's pretty good help.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
still with it.
good help.
Well, I'm gonna talk to you about this first.
Good.
The rollers in my scanner, I've already talked to John Leonard, he's not here yet. The rollers in my scanner where we scan our documents is tearing up. And I had CSS give me a quote from them because, you know, it was purchased through them. And this is the quote for that. And this here is a quote for the hand railings that we talked about at the last commission meeting. And that's a quote for that work to be done. So, I mean, it's up to you all if you want to approve them in the bills. It's not added in here, but if you approve them, then we can add it in here.
Well, I did, how much is it for?
225.
Well, that seems reasonable.
So moved.
Second.
One vote or individually, Brian, to approve these?
On both.
It's been moved and seconded to approve, two quotes here. One is for fixing the welds on the handrails at a cost of $225. The other is CSS for a scan aid kit at a cost of $390. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes. Probably just stand for those and all this sign those right here. Okay, before we pay the bills on other business, just something, the sheriff wanted to meet with us today, but, you know, he has one less employee, so he's having to do bailiff work in the magistrate court. And he would like to meet with us and talk about considering budgeting possibly a small amount of money to utilize a part-time bailiff. Just for that, not a deputy, but just someone So I told him I would bring it up, and we'll put that on the agenda for the next time, and hopefully we can, but he couldn't come today because he's having to be the bailiff,
Okay.
okay? Let's pay some bills.
Okay.
That's a hit. I know it cost you money too, but listen, don't think it didn't cost this commission. Your claim against Mr. Hunt, we were insured, but we have a deductible, $10,000.
See, you could have paid me much better.
Ooh. Oh, I like this thing. Yeah, that was part of Brown Covered Monies.
Is this the beginning of your?
Sounds like
No.
news. Should I witness cam?
That's the body cams that Larry ordered.
Right, I got you. I witness cam. 4 of them.
Just pay the grant, right?
Yes, that donation.
Yeah.
Oh, and to let you all know, my copy machine it decided it needed a break. So, it's gonna be out of service until at least Monday. It had enough. That's why there's no out of service. Because we can't make copies.
see what that is.
Hopefully by Monday, maybe today, but I'm hoping today, but maybe by Monday.
That puts you, that is,
And everything that was on there, gone. The
So
hard
then
drive
warranty?
went bad. Well,
Get
yeah,
under-
that, but the hard drive, like all of the copies and everything that was made before, gone. We'll never get
now
another.
what effect, what's the effect of that? I mean, is that
Probably
bad? Is it,
$3,000 worth.
that were to be billed?
I asked
Well,
him if
what's-
he could take it
what's-
and try to pull it off, he said he didn't know if he could or not.
He's going to attempt to, though. Well, might be in the sheds.
It's not looking good though.
Now, what amount of time, is this something in the future that we need to pull those amounts off?
Well, we do them twice a month, so we just hadn't done it.
Right, so,
And so, I mean,
well, hopefully he can let us know how that turns out.
and that was checked into, and everything is correct on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest one this year. Jail bill, $21,905.
If you remember last time. It was
That's the largest one we've had.
Yeah, it's been 17, 15.
Yeah, that's,
Dave, the total of the bills, $53,788.81.
Thank you.
where's our local paper today, Jane?
Well, that's me.
They'll just have to get your information on the day of your minutes.
What is it?
And what-
I said the local paper will just have to get the report from either you or Gene's minutes.
Yes.
Somebody said Dave Corcoran was gonna be 70 years old.
Probably.
I'll tell you, weeks slip by on me, like I leave town on Sunday night or Monday morning and come back on Thursday night or Friday, and you just blink and they're gone.
They do faster to get over.
Do they?
Yeah.
We just need to.
Yeah.
I always said, goes your mind,
This is
it's
all-
all process, and that's what
Yeah.
you keep shrinking.
This is the Region 7 news where, you know, we paid 1,000, and we paid 1,000.
I thought we agreed to pay another 1,000.
It was.
So we paid 2,000.
You would have paid 2,000. So we're
We're
just
gonna pay
doing
another
another
1,000.
1,000.
Month next month.
Okay.
We paid 1,000 this month, 1,000 a month. Right, Gene?
What we've been doing.
Okay, there was a motion to pay the bills in the amount of,
$53,788.81.
moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Alright.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Gentlemen, we're finished until we have a 10 o'clock appointment.
I move we go into executive session to discuss budget issues.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Make it, well, be the 18-minute, yeah.
Mr. Bennett, I guess she doesn't have it.
Oh, she doesn't.
Yeah, I asked her, she does not have it either.
Oh, did you know? somebody said it was on your slide. Did I have a copy of the lease agreement with?
That's the original one that,
Was it signed?
no, that was the one that way at the beginning it was presented.
And Cindy was just here. She's the chair of the board.
Yeah.
She would have known. If we'd have known,
Yeah.
we'd have
Yeah,
asked.
that, the one that was on the side is the original one that, just proposed.
Well, it's
Yeah.
pretty much, I don't know, that it changed. I mean,
But see, we don't know, that's what people don't know.
well, listen, I'll accept that challenge to try and come up with one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You make a lot of people happy.
Let me just call Cindy right now, because she's the chair.
Yeah.
Hey, Cindy, I'm just calling you.
That's what I heard.
Do you have a signed
Uh-huh.
lease? Could we get a copy of it, please?
Sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you it.
Just, it needs, we should, because it's a county entity, we should have a copy here, even though the agreement's with the health center board of operations.
Absolutely. It hasn't
Yes.
officially gone through the minutes at the meeting. It'll be September 14th,
I
something
saw
like
that
that.
coming up, yes.
So we didn't have a signed one the last time we met, but
Right.
we do now.
Good.
But I
It's
guess it
signed.
doesn't matter.
We,
you know,
both parties
keep
agreed to
it.
do it, so if we could just, when it's convenient, if you could get us a copy here, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Can I
Ready
have
for
a
Jean?
copy?
How are you? Doing fine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Were
welcome.
there any other questions about, or you just
No.
needed, okay,
No,
Sure.
I'm just asking because people are asking.
okay, well, good deal.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry about this.
Hey, that's all
Yeah,
right.
miscommunication.
Make sure Brian gets that. He's-
Yeah, I know he likes them.
I usually just give mine to John, that way he can have one in a couple different places.
Jim Hunt turned 67 years old yesterday.
He's still hanging in there?
Man, he's a good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
We need this for anything else.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The rest of it should be, try to be more like him.
Yes. I wouldn't know why.
Well, the important thing, did you get your new stamper? Awesome.
Look at that.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a new stamper.
I told Gene, I still wouldn't have this if I hadn't thrown the old one in the trash can last meeting.
Yeah.
Brian, he said it took him 6 months.
Did? I was signing everything by hand.
You were not.
I was, and you know.
You were not. I could have got your old stamp out unless you do the pad and then stamp it.
Gene, we have a,
Jean, I would have said it was administrative.
No, I'm not gonna blame her.
No, I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
think it was her. I think it may have been the one before her, but.
Yeah.
Gene, who made this appointment with you?
Karen's the one that called or came down and left a message on my desk to get on the agenda.
It says Gary Wolf and Karen Elkin and attorney personnel issues.
Oh.
10 o'clock.
They think you're in the executive session, I think.
Gary just walked by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he said his girls wanted to come.
On the top right there.
This one?
Blue button.
Sign in? Yeah.
First of all, Karen's not gonna be here, so I'll come right now. Karen may come later, I don't know, she's in court.
She's in court.
Yeah, Brian said come on in. Justifiably, my girls have been upset about the raise for Angel, and they had things to say. And I told them it really didn't affect me to that, I'm an elected official, so it does to some degree, but it does more than me. So I said, they was welcome to come with me to address their points with you all. And I don't know the exact road Karen's gonna go, but we just wanted to talk to you all as a group. And you can explain your reasoning and they can explain theirs, if that's fair with you all.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Girls?
Action that.
Well. I feel as though we were told there was no money, there was no money, there was no money. And cuts had to be made, and budgets had to be adjusted, and we've all seen less money in our paychecks. I know that I do a good job. I know that my job cannot be done by anybody off the street, as long with the other girls here and the other girls in my office. And this county doesn't run without the assessment being made. Without the assessment being made, there's no money to collect. You don't even need a bookkeeper because there's no money being brought in before we do our job. And for us to suffer a pay cut and being told that there is no money, and then somebody else get $8,000 is wrong. Just plain simple. It's wrong. That's my issue. My paycheck is shorter. Somebody else got a significant raise. And my job is important too. If I don't do my job, there is no money to be collected. If I don't do my job correctly, there's not the right amount of money to be collected.
And we haven't had a raise in 3 years. 3 years. So how do you justify that?
I could have swallowed it just fine. I never have begrudged anybody else more money. You know, I like the employees that I work with. I like the other employees in the other offices that I work with. I have never complained about anybody else getting more money. More power to you, God bless you. But I don't feel that our check should have been decreased if there was no money.
How much money, Lisa, did your,
Last month, my check was short $75. This month, I'm being told that it's gonna be short $50.
now are you guys, and I should know this, but are they being reimbursed for the insurance that's being put back in?
The money was not and it won't be reimbursed. Because the unencumbered balance was not put back in until August.
So that's why the paycheck was shorter in July, because the, tobacco users, the dental vision one came out. If you didn't have a living will, that came out. If there was, what else was it, Angel? Some other insurance.
And then at first in July, we had to pay 100% of our dental vision, that was put back in.
What does that total, that tobacco use?
It's $50 a month.
No, what was the savings to the county?
I do not remember.
Can you go look for me?
Your salaries weren't cut, first of all. your salaries weren't cut. There were added costs, deductions from your paycheck. One being, when we passed that last budget, we stopped paying for dental vision, which
Because there
was
was no
$20,000.
Right.
We balanced the budget,
But,
dollar for, no,
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 it's
no,
not because there was
there
no
was a
money.
lot of money. There was a lot of money because that budget was, total budget was, help me out here, Gene. Almost
Have
2
anything in
million,
front of you,
2.1
yeah.
million, but
Ron,
listen,
did you
a
not
dollar.
tell us and tell us that the reason all this was taking place was because there was no money?
Yeah.
Like, we were running on less money.
We were definitely running on less money.
Okay.
We have to
That's why our
have a
budget
dollar
was cut
expenditure for a dollar of
$60,000.
revenue, and we balanced the budget, 2.1 million. Now, there were some cuts
employees.
by cutting benefits.
There were positions that were lost.
There were positions lost.
And so
We lost our only employee, our county administrator.
Go ahead.
How do you justify turning around and give a raise?
Additional responsibilities and duties.
You
Somebody,
have
she,
additional responsibilities.
now, you wanna
and duties
listen
now.
to me? You
And
wanna
hasn't
listen?
the office done that for years? Before she came along?
We all have additional duties now. And I have less money in my paycheck. And I don't think that's right.
My turn to speak? When we balanced that budget, dollar for a dollar, in order to get it balanced, we had to make some cuts. Yes, there were employee cuts. Sheriff lost a deputy. Gene lost a full-time person. We lost our only employee, the county administrator. Those people that choose to use tobacco, they pay that $50 a month, not the county, not the taxpayers. We chose not to budget for dental vision. We balanced the budget. Elected officials signed off on it. We're good for the next 12 months. Each year, though, there's money we don't spend every dime.
No, we have, pretty well.
Our bookkeeper came up earlier than expected in July. Our bookkeeper came up earlier in July already with the unspent monies. At the end of the fiscal year, those unspent monies, we rebudget. The unspent monies at the end of the fiscal year was $308,763. Or $308,763. I don't know if you're aware of that. That's public record. So in July and August, we did budget revisions. Now that might sound like a lot of money, but keep in mind the bulk of that went into a contingency fund, which is our working capital, because our taxes don't come in equal increments. There are months back to back where we receive no tax dollars. So at all times, we need to keep $250,000 working capital just to pay our bills. And we put $250,000 in it. I can go down through these, what we spent, the unencumbered.
I don't care.
We reinstated, you should care, because some of it benefited you. We reinstated the dental and eye
We have
insurance.
a few perks to this job. We don't make what the employees in the magistrate's office make. But there's a few perks to this job, and we discussed it.
Stop
We
you
know
right
that.
there. The employees in the magistrate's office, their pay is set by state code.
We know that.
Exactly.
But thank you very much for stepping in. So I just wanted to let you know that. I didn't know
You knew that.
Yeah, I know that. That's not the point. We all live in the same county. We all have the same expenses. We all have children. But there are some perks to this job. Some of which is our insurance being paid. It's wonderful. Other of which was the tobacco affidavit. I can't help that Jeremy still smokes. I can't make him stop smoking. But that is a discount. Like, this is your set price for your insurance. And if your employees can sign this affidavit, then you get this discount, okay? So that had never been referred off on us before. And I was told that it was because we were low on money and we're trying to make the budgets work. Fine.
That's true,
But
that was a true
now
statement.
I
And we all accepted
The
that.
point is now, slowly and slowly, more of those benefits are being drawn away from us. And other people are being given too, while we're being taken away from.
Now, for you personally, Lisa, one was taken away, the $50. If someone, you or and your family is a tobacco user, yes, you pay that $50, but we reinstated the dental vision.
But we didn't used to have to pay that $50.
So it's
And
less
now it's
money.
been taken away. You see what I'm saying? Like, we are losing benefits and perks to this job. Because and I can actually, if there's no money, there's no money, fine.
Well, not every employee lost, but every employee that had a smoker or a tobacco
Every
user
employee
lost
lost for a month.
$600.
Every employee was cut for a month on their dental.
Right, $25.
Yep.
I'm one person, and I came to your all's office, and I'll come as soon as this meeting's over. I told everybody in the courthouse, I will be around. But I came to your all's office, and I didn't tell you anything that was untrue, I assure you. Now, as far as the tobacco goes, I've already inquired about how much it was, what a savings it was to the county, because I do believe, I told the two commissioners earlier, that I believe the elected officials should have opportunity to resubmit, and a couple already have, to see if there are burdens that these cuts have made on your offices. And Gary, I'm telling you now, if there are burdens that these cuts have made on your offices, I'm one of three. But I certainly would be willing to consider if there's something there. And it's nothing, I mean, we just have to have discussion to see what it is. As far as this thing of no money, you knew what I meant when I said there's no money. And she was well aware that there was some money.
Right.
When I said there was no money, or not enough money, however I worded
We
it
don't
at
need
the
to play
time.
this, so
Right.
you know what I mean.
So to clear all that up, everybody's clear on that. Now, as far as the deal with Angel, she does have additional duties, and I feel she's extremely important here. And I think the affairs of the money and the county's finances, they're definitely in as good a shape as they've been since I've been here. And I've heard Larry say that they're in as good a shape as he's ever seen them. I voted yes, one of three. I voted yes solely for the additional duties, and just as important, I voted yes because of the quality of work that she performs, and I did not want to see her go. It was in the best interest of the county. I'm looking everybody in the face. And I told them I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to go ahead. I do not believe in this everybody gets a trophy nonsense. I work in the private sector, got 30 employees, and I'm not going to put Gary on the spot, nor will I put Karen or Gene or everybody else, but there are people in your offices that are guaranteed that are more valuable and more important. And the sad fact is, lots of times those people don't get rewarded the way they should. And in every instance, in working with the state, there are people that everybody will get the same raise. And Lisa, you and I had this conversation, and you have. Every time you've ever stepped up, you've stepped up for everybody.
Yep.
Which is why they asked you to speak first today. And I got no problem with any of it. But I don't want anybody here to have any misconception about why I voted yes. And are there people in this courthouse that are valuable to the office and maybe should make more money? I'm not saying there aren't. But I'm saying this. Angel is extremely valuable. And I'm not saying others aren't. Bridget was extremely valuable. They kept our money straight. You guys collect our money. I'm taking nothing away from it. You're the one to make the assessment to get, so we have the money we have.
My point is, Ryan, I am a valuable employee, and I feel completely confident sitting here and telling you that. Kay is retiring soon. There are other people in our office who are getting, older. These people are going to be leaving. And if you think that you can show somebody what happens in that office in a month, in a year, in 2 years, you cannot. I have been there 9 years, and I still don't know half of what Teresa Maxwell knows. And I'm telling you, if we don't do something to hang on to our employees, you're going to come to a point where there's nobody in that office that knows what's going on. And that job is not going to be done correctly.
Understood.
And the county is going to suffer because of it.
Understood.
You have to be good to your employees. I am not willing to sit here and take a decrease in my pay when I know that I can do that job. And I will do that job when others leave. What I don't know, I will figure out. When there's enough money to give somebody else a raise, I don't feel that my check should be smaller.
I'm not saying that that's, as I said to you before, I'm not saying that that's unfounded.
That's my only point.
What are the extra duties?
the things that our county administrator did. She'll scrutinize those bills, she'll work with those utility companies and suppliers every day when there's questions. We have not stopped writing grants. It's a benefit to the public, to the voters, when we continue the grant process. If you look at our past county administrator, her last 12 months, she brought in 5 times her salary. Do I think Angel is the most capable one in this courthouse of following her footsteps? Absolutely. I just don't have a problem saying that. I think her accounting background, bookkeeping goes hand in hand with this grant writing and administrating grants. We've not stopped. So there's additional benefits, there's additional duties, additional responsibilities. I want you to keep in mind, Jean lost one person in her office. And then in addition to that, we're asking her office to assume additional duties that our county administrator had. It's like double the expectations.
We fully
But
understand that.
I have full confidence, I think it's in the county's best interest that we have Angel do that. That's my basis. If you're asking me why I voted for it, that's why I voted for it. I think that the county benefits that we continue to do those things that our county administrator did.
What about the other employees that haven't had a raise in 3 years, the valuable employees, the ones that have experience, the ones that have education? What about those?
Listen, that's a nationwide issue right there. It's not just here.
I'm gonna disagree with that, and I'm gonna step out on a limb again, because it seems like even as big and fat as I am, I spend my time out there. And I'm not putting you on the spot, Gary, but I believe that you're all's elected officials, and this goes back to the way I think things are. But I think they should, I mean, if just as far as an across-the-board raise, I just don't see it. But those of you all that are more important in those offices, it would be far more appealing to me if it was presented in a budget that, you know, this person is, John Bennett is done, he goes above and beyond, and he carries way more than he's supposed
But
to.
you've got their budgets, Brian, they have nothing to work with.
$60,000.
We can't even have a water
off of Gary's budget.
You can't even want,
We can't even have a water cooler, like we used to have a water cooler, we gotta drink out of the water fountain out here now, which is, everybody's got issues with bleach or chlorine or whatever. But, you know what I mean, like something as small, like our budgets are cut, like there's nothing left in them.
I understand. And those decisions were made, Lisa, to balance that budget. And now they're balanced. And there was some money left over. And I can't be any more clear about what to do. What I said to your, I'm 1 of 3. But I looked right at Gary and told him, resubmit.
Right.
Show us where your burdens are. Show me where your burdens are. And that's just, I don't know what else I can say. I didn't say anything to you guys that was unfounded or untrue at the beginning. We wound up with this money at the end. So, that's just where I'm at.
If I can add, being an administrator before and running budgets, if you don't have a good sound bookkeeping, you can go lose your money pretty fast. And, you know, right now we had to cut to get where we are, and yes, we had some carryover money. I think if you look at what's going on in the county, you'll probably see there's going to be a reduction in revenue this year from last year, just from the county clerk's office and all this gas. And that's going to, you know, there may be another round next year, you know, and any monies that we spend now will, you know, just further make that worse. And I think it's important, and I think that the employee has kept us up to date on where we stand financially. And, you know, who knows, we might even have to cut the budget before the year's over. Revenues don't come in. So, I mean, and it's hard for me, and I know, because I was probably the one who first brought this up, it's hard for me, for the taxpayer, to pay for a smoking benefit for somebody
It's
that
not
has
a
the
rate
option.
benefit, it's a discount. The county gets a discount.
And, so, you know, that's kind of where I stood and, why we, cause I always worry about us staying solvent. And my understanding of, before I came in, the county been spending like $200,000 more than they were taking in. And we've kind of got that handled now, and we just gotta try and keep it that way.
We're not broke. I just want to clarify some of those earlier statements. What's our budget, total budget, Angel?
I think it's like 2.5 million, I would have to verify.
I mean, it's over 2 million. We're not broke. But when we do that budget in March, we do that projected expenditures dollar for dollar with that dollar projected revenue. And that's why it was tough this year. It was tougher than ever because we didn't go to that savings account down at United National Bank and pull out 200,000. We didn't do that this year. We're living within our means. I totally agree, everybody deserves more money, more benefits, but our revenue, I think, dictates where we are right now.
Where was that $8,000 in the budget? Where did you get that extra money?
That's what I was, okay, again, we budget dollar for dollar, and we balanced the budget, and all these elected officials signed off that they were going to be able to keep those constitutional offices open for another 12 months on that amount of money. Your salaries were included, their
So
office
it was
supplies.
because the other budgets were cut.
Every budget was cut, okay?
That's what I said, the other budgets were cut.
Every elected official's budget was cut. The county commission's budget, probably percentage-wise, was cut the most because we lost our administrator.
If you're I think the answer to the answer to your question is yes, Kate. The reason that, I mean, it definitely affected the amount of the unencumbered monies, the cuts that were made in the budget. I think is what you're asking. I mean, it certainly didn't make up for $300,000. But, yes.
So can you understand how that makes us feel? That
Absolutely.
our offices were cut and our paychecks were cut and then that money was kind of taken and given to somebody else. I didn't ask for more money. You know, I'm not asking for more money now. I want what I have for the job that I do, and I got more duties. That's all I'm saying.
Yours is about the $50.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I got it. Yours is about you don't want to be penalized because you're not a tobacco user and your husband is, and you're penalized $50.
Right. I'm doing the same duties. I'm
Well,
doing
that's
more
it.
duties. And I'm bringing less money.
I understand. Okay. Have I answered your questions?
I'm not a smoker.
So it didn't affect you. Your level
Oh,
of
it
pay is,
affected me with the dental and
but that's being reinstated. So as of today, you're the same as last year with no cuts. Correct.
same as last year,
Okay.
yeah. No raises in 3 years.
So with that being said, Brian, you said that if I want to, I can possibly submit a budget revision to you all.
Yeah, we've got one here from the prosecutor.
I'll probably at least look at that for next month and just let you all.
And I don't know,
Listen, things like that come up all the time, though. I don't think that's something.
Well, we wouldn't
new.
have anything if I wouldn't have lost a point and a half, because most of my stuff's gonna be appraisal. So,
If you get in a bind, I'll give you a prime example. We're gonna talk to the sheriff
right,
because he lost a deputy.
right.
Now, that creates an issue because he has so many bailiff duties.
Exactly.
And he wanted to come and talk to us today about it, but he had to be the bailiff.
Right.
So we're gonna look at possibly, not a full-time person, but possibly a part-time
I understand.
bailiff to be there,
Because I lost
something at a
part-time.
reasonable price.
I know you did.
So,
It all comes, what benefits the public the most.
yeah.
Well,
Least
here's
amount of money.
what would keep us from giving them the $25 back?
50.
$25 is what they got taken from them.
50.
No,
He's talking about
she got 75.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, we cut them a month. under the pretense that we're not gonna have enough money to cover that.
All the 25,
So they lost a month. I don't understand, I mean,
Yeah.
why can't we give them that back?
good.
I mean, because obviously it wasn't the case.
We didn't know until late July.
I'm
and I
not
got-
saying that we did anything wrong, I'm saying that it wasn't the case. We found out that it was the case, we had a little bit left over, why can't we give it back to them?
So with that being said, if I would submit a budget, do you all have any idea money-wise, so I would even know what to look at?
The thing that and I'm on a 3 here.
I understand.
The thing that would interest me the most, Gary, is what hardships and burdens that cut put on you.
Okay. So I need to justify that.
Right.
Okay. I'll have that information for you.
You can ask for anything at any time, doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Oh, I understand that.
But you can request
But I'm gonna do it
anything.
within reason. I'm not gonna come over and shoot your figure,
Sure.
you know. The biggest thing is right now with us, we're coming into our busiest season. We've got oil and gas wells that's got to be worked. Kathy did that. She was our part-time. She worked and we linked it, or the girls did. So that's the big issue that we have discussed about. Hers was $7,410, I think, part-time was. You can't get that much, I fully understand that. But, you know, and Lisa hit on it pretty well. You know, we've got a deadline. and we
Kate's
ain't
leaving.
done.
Me and Jenny are trying to learn how to do transfers. That is extremely tedious.
It's not very easy, is
It is not easy. It is a whole new learning experience. Oil and gas is not easy. I have only linked wells. I haven't worked up wells since I was first employed, so that's another thing I'm gonna have to pick back up on and do. But there's a lot of extra thrown off on the rest of us, not only learning wise, but just, you've got people coming into the counter, you've got people on the phone. There are times when I sit down to read a deed, and I might read the first paragraph, and I can't get back to it for another 45 minutes. Because you're waiting at the counter and you're answering the phone. And a lot of times, that's what, I forget her name, Kathy did. Kathy waited the counter while we were learning new things and taking on new tasks and doing other things. So now we've got to do that, and we've got to pick up all that.
I agree. Listen, you guys do a great job. But Lisa, you as well as anybody should understand it seems to me like the position is because we took more money with one employee, because what we felt were additional responsibilities and duties that our administrator had. And I hope you don't question that, because they're real. They're real. And we do have expectations to continue to write and administer grants. And that cost, if you look at that cost, it's about $670 a month versus what we used to pay for salary.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
So
one
that's
at
not
all, because I completely understand that, you know, but you gotta understand our side of it too, because we're seeing less money and those same hardships of more responsibility.
Well, the $50 a month, listen, that's $600 a year, that's real money to me.
I know, right.
I mean, I understand.
it sounds
I
funny,
understand.
but it's true,
I
you know.
know.
And whenever you're living in my world, you know, I've got 3 children, I got one that just went to college, you know, and we're all living in my world. We
This
all
is
have
your world,
children.
squirrel.
That's right,
We're just in.
that's right.
Well, you know, if you want some figures, and I told you earlier, we need working capital, we need at least $250,000, because taxes don't come in any quick ones. We're already down to about 229. The only revenue we're really counting on that could add to this possibly is that oil and gas severance tax in
Maybe.
Maybe. It depends on, we projected it to be, we're hoping it'll be higher, we don't know. But we're down low, but I agree with
And poor Angel,
Brian, the
you're running
25.
around being afraid to smile at people and look at people because you don't know who you're
And I really wish you guys would come and ask me, because there's so much going around, it's not even true. And not one person's asked me the truth. Not one person. Nobody's asked me what happened. Nothing.
I was,
Well, I just don't think that it's my business, you know? If somebody came to me and said, hey, Lisa, we know you're doing a lot, we're gonna give you $8,000, I'm gonna be like, thank you. I do a lot.
Well, and I just want you all to know too, when Angel was doing the budgets, trust me, I've seen her sit and cry because she knew that each office was losing an employee.
I know.
And she has worried herself and worried herself and worried herself. It's not because she's not picking up for anyone in this court, because she has.
But our positions are
She has
important
tried.
too.
They are important. They are, and grant you,
And
I
our
mean,
knowledge
just as
that we've
Lisa
had
said,
in 25 years.
my office
You
has
can't buy
bared
that.
the burden.
You can't get that from just
I
coming
mean,
in.
I have bared the
Can't get that
burden of a
started.
lot of things that, you know, are
Well, yeah,
additional
fair,
duties. As a
right.
matter of fact, come the end of the month, I don't wanna have an employee that's not gonna be able to make a copy, she's not gonna report, because
no,
the
no.
three
we're
of
gonna
us
take
in the
that.
office has to
We're
go
gonna take
to a
that.
mandatory election meeting.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, correct me if I'm wrong, that your request is, and that's what I'm gonna take this as, is a request. I think we've explained our actions. Your request is to have those that got penalized $50 a month, that be reinstated. We already picked up the 25 that we'll reimburse, consider reimbursement for the 25 that we charged you in July.
That's 24, just to
24. All right? Well, that's what we're gonna put on the agenda the next time.
And that's why you make the big bucks.
And any of the other, thank you for coming.
Good.
We do, we appreciate it, because listen, this is how you talk about things. You get together, face to face, instead of
So I can.
gossip, right
Write
up.
up something and get on the agenda for next meeting.
Absolutely.
All right.
I move we go back into executive session.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah, please.
All in favor, say aye. Motion passes.
Master of
No,
technology.
you're not either.
Yes.
You probably should put in there that we met in executive session with the assessor to discuss budget and personnel, of which no decisions were made, no action was taken. Questions from you two gentlemen before we adjourn? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye. We're adjourned.
Next meeting will be the usual 9 AM.
Yeah, I'm looking in the, Dave usually